show ahead of this year's Armageddon Expo.
Stargate SG1 soldier Christopher Judge and Star Trek Deep Space Nine's Aron Eisenburg join us now. Thank you for your time, gents.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Are you a Chris or a Christopher?
It depends on if you're signing my checks or not.
We'll go with Chris.
So that means you are?
I guess firstly we better find out why you're here in New Zealand.
Armageddon?
Yes, we're here for the Armageddon Expo, which happens this Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And yeah, we're really excited to be here.
What are sci-fi fans like? Are they pretty full on? Is it lots of photos, lots of signings? Are they disappointed that you're not made up?
They're disappointed I'm not taller.
Really?
No, they're not.
Can I get you to stand up for a moment?
Really?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, I guess
Just,
are you both gonna just...
I think you're perfectly tall enough.
There are some people in this world that think I'm perfectly tall enough. For the role I played, I was perfectly tall enough.
Absolutely.
But in a lot of instances, not so. But actually, the fans, you know, they're really just nice people. I mean, it's so wonderful to meet them. They come out, they say hi, thank you for what you did on the show. Loved your show, the characters that they relate to, and it's an amazing opportunity that we get from the show.
Do they get confused, or many of them get confused with the whole reality and fiction thing, and kind of want you to be your character?
Well, I think the majority can separate the difference between the character you play and the reality of who you are. But there are those.
You're not trying to tell me you don't really have an abdominal pouch now, do you?
No, I'm not saying that. But you know, for the more hardcore ones, when they start talking about like wormhole physics and things like that, which is a real science, but when you start talking about as it applies to the Stargate, you know, sometimes you have to step back and say, you know, there really isn't a Stargate, right? So,
Are you surprised that, given that both the shows are off air and have been for some time, that your fans are still so loyal?
I'm not surprised. I mean, if you look at the original series for our series, Star Trek, I mean, it still stands the test of time. And you can even go so far back and you look at the sets and, you know, the sparks flying for the special effects. But it's the heart of the show that stands the test of time. It's what the show's about. And I remember watching the original series with my dad and even being amazed by the philosophical questions it would pose. So if generations are continually watching the show, and with the new movies coming out that spark new interest in more youth, then they go back and watch it, and it just keeps recycling. You know.
Well, that's the great thing about conventions is the people who watched it, at least probably when we both started, when they were teens or kids or whatever, now have their own families, and they bring their kids out.
Because family viewing.
Which there's not a whole lot of anymore. And so, I mean, we've just started re-airing, and it's been amazing that we've undergone a resurgence, and our numbers are almost equal to what they were when we were originally on the first run.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Do you think they'll come back? There'll be more series to come?
Well, for Star Trek.
Well, yeah, I don't know about Star Trek TV shows. I mean, the movie that came out, I think it was in 2009, and I think J.J. Abrams, I believe it's J.J. Abrams, doing another one right now. Well, what they did in the last one, they completely redid the timeline, if I hope I'm saying this all correctly. So they have a clean slate, because there's so much history in Star Trek that it's so difficult to continually write scripts and remember all the things that happened. And so they kind of restarted it in a way. And I think after maybe several movies and the interest is spiked back up, that maybe they'll do another TV show. You know, I don't know, but...
The funny thing that you're saying is my company and partners actually just signed a deal with Roddenberry Entertainment to do a new sci-fi show.
Wow.
So, there you go.
A new Star Trek show?
No, it'll be just new sci-fi. It's a completely new kind of pantheon, so it's quite exciting actually to be working with that legendary name.
Wow.
And you have my number still, right?
I mean, the reason, as you say, it still speaks to us now. Roddenberry pushed the boundaries. I mean, Lieutenant Uhura in the very first Star Trek, I think that was the first on-screen kiss, maybe, the love interest between a black woman who was in a position of power as well. We're going back to the 60s here. Those themes are still continuing?
I believe so. I mean, I Yes, they do, and they continue to do. And it's not just pushing boundaries. It's also, I lack the words sometimes to articulate it. It's kind of the heart of the show, the philosophy of the show, the hope for the future, a better future. And I think that ties in with people because, we all go through our lives. We all struggle in our lives. We all have, ups and downs, peaks and valleys and what have you. And I think when you can tie into something that gives you a brighter hope for your future, that resonates with people across the globe. Everybody can resonate to that. Everybody can understand it. Everybody can relate to it. And I think that's what stands the test of time more, as well as the things you mentioned. And then when you see the things come true, when they go inside, when we go into a market and the doors open up, something as simple as that.
Yeah.
But in the 60s, it wasn't as simple. So when they would walk into the door and it would spin and turn and go down, and you see, when he opens up and he's talking on the phone. Exactly.
Yeah, the Motorola
when you see
Razr was
technology,
exactly like that,
that even brings in more people like, well, maybe we are getting a glimpse of the future. Maybe we are getting pieces of the future from both shows, from all the sci-fi that we see, because that's our imagination. Our imagination is being put in front of us, and that sparks us for the future. That sparks our creativity and our interest in what possibly could be our future.
Life imitating art,
Just
right?
very quick question. How long did it take to get the makeup and the mask on?
For me, when the show first started, it took 3 hours. But my makeup artist was awesome and got it down to an hour and a half. And it was really one piece. It was like a helmet or two pieces and then a nose. And then at the beginning, they would use my cheeks to give me the youthful appearance because I have a round face. And then as the years progressed, they gave me actually cheek prosthetics to give an angular look to my cheeks to make me look a little bit older. So they aged me in the makeup.
Ah, cheeky. I'm supposed to make you look younger.
No, well, I started young and as a kid. Well, I was 23 when I got the show, and the character was a kid. So, as he grew up, then
Quark's
they had
nephew, right?
Correct, that is correct.
You're the Ferengi race as well.
Yeah.
We've got to go. We have.
Oh, we're out of time.
Thank you so much.
That was subtle. We gotta go.
Your earpiece is gone. All the best for Armageddon, you guys. Thank you so much for coming in. The expo starts this weekend. If you want to get your sci-fi fix or win a double pass, head to our website.